Raps of Yore, the complete edition, is a new album from Chicago producer slash rapper Meedak, and as the title states, a deluxe version of Raps of Yore, which was released in the summer of 2025. Unlike your average deluxe edition of a rap album where all of the original songs remain untouched, Meedak decided to add vocals to the opening and closing tracks of the standard edition, both of which are instrumentals. That simple decision represents Meedak's intention with this new release to officially step into the spotlight as a rapper. Now, I wasn't able to listen to his entire Spotify-based discography, but from the brief listens I gave his records, starting with 2020's Out the Shadows and stopping at 2021's Check My Tape, Meedak was primarily behind the boards showcasing his superb talent as a beatmaker. 2024's Mo Better Bap saw Meedak teaming up with fellow lyricist Capri Palais and Ape Up Speedy, the latter of whom he'd re-teamed with on his 2025 follow-up and the album I listened to in preparation for this review, Missed Calls. On the standard edition of Raps of Yore, which was released months after, Meedak delivered 7 moody jazz hop instrumentals akin to the production he provided for Ape Up Speedy on Missed Calls. And on the 5 songs between the opening and closing tracks, his lyrical focus mainly involved the hard work he continues to put into his music, the resilience that was built throughout his career and life, and his goals to become a hip-hop legend and make his friends, fans, and family proud of his accomplishments. Right out the gate, the cover for the complete edition, a considerable and symbolic improvement of the graffiti artwork of the standard edition, gives the impression that this version will zero in more on the adoration and respect Meedak has for the art form of hip-hop. In retrospect, it's funny that one of the icons on the album cover is the face of a black man sporting an afro, as it reveals a subconscious hint of the album's unexpectedly memorable conclusion. I will say that Meedak's expansion on the love of hip-hop theme was a wise choice, as it gives listeners further context into the reasons why he continues to work as hard as he does on his music. The opening track, Real Hip Hop, isn't just a soulful instrumental that shares its name with one of Das EFX's best songs from their best album, Agree to Disagree, Hold It Down. It's also Meedak's opening statement into what this pursuit towards hip-hop dreams means to him. On the mic, Meedak isn't doing any lyrical heavy lifting here, as he delivers his bars in a lively, MC-like manner designed to hype his audience up for what's to come. The bouncy vibe of Real Hip Hop switches to a somber one on the following track and one of the album's best songs, Lost Without You. In the first in a number of smooth, jazzy instrumentals on the record, Meedak raps about how he still misses his mother, who passed away during his childhood. Additionally, he explores how music served as a means of escape and self-expression, and how the trials and tribulations that fueled his music would have been better handled if his mother was at his side. And as someone who lost his mother a few years ago, I truly felt the heart and sentiment behind this track. In the first half of this record, 2 of hip-hop's most iconic wordsmiths make surprise appearances. What's interesting is that their respective verses are part of 2 existing and rather obscure songs. The track Yore opens with a Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def, verse that originated from a 2025 song called You With Me, performed by a Switzerland, rapper named Young Kevin. And despite the bumpy start of Yasin's flow on Yore, which typically is to be expected when vocals are transcribed from one rap beat to another, his vocals gradually fit themselves within Meedak's reflective, piano-driven instrumental. Even more interesting is how Meedak's emphasis on authenticity in his verse draws inspiration from Yasin's overarching critique of a sensationalized incident, which may or may not be true, and not in the elaborate way he tells the story. The second wordsmith who appears on this album is the OG himself, Big Daddy Kane. On the first half of Peace of Mind, Kane's verse comes courtesy of a song produced by Brooklyn producer Domingo entitled Bed-Stuy Represent. And in case you're wondering at this point in the review, I had to Google that information, as I had no idea where those verses came from. Unlike Yasin's flow on Yore, Kane sounds smoother and more natural over Meedak's laid-back production. Lyrically, Meedak strays extremely far from Kane's braggadocious bars with his examination of his own mental resilience that keeps him laser focused on his goals. After Yore and Peace of Mind respectively, we get the nocturnal sounds of Never Change and Built Different, The former features some R&B style vocals from a female singer that adds a slight melancholic ambience to the song. And though Meedak's bars are rooted in heartbreak as her choruses, the seriousness he shows in taking his art and his future seriously could be viewed as a reason why the relationship alluded at by the singer didn't work out. My one nitpick with this track is that we could have gotten another verse, given its pleasant production and relatable message. Built Different is the better of the two tracks, and in my opinion, the best song on this album. The drums, strings, and pianos have a classy live sound to them, which, when combined with Meedak's measured vocal delivery, create the feel of watching an on-stage performance of this song at some random lounge bar. It also features his strongest bars, as he delivers this compelling been-in-the-game examination of how his inspiration to become a hip-hop legend kept him stable and focused throughout the years he honed his craft. After the standard edition closing track, Orchestrated, which now feels like an interlude thanks to its midpoint placement on the complete edition tracklist, we're treated to 6 new songs. Though this second half continues the album's themes of resilience and striving for your goals, Meedak's reference for hip-hop is more resonant on this section. Meedak sounds hungry on the melodramatically soulful Talk My Shit, delivering an emotionally driven extended verse as if his life depended on it. And over the significantly upbeat but similarly soulful sounds of the Take Back, Meedak performs a genuinely heartfelt tribute to the progenitors of modern hip-hop and the genre as a whole. He even makes a clever reference to both Shaboozey and Jaquan, the latter of whom is hopefully eating good thanks to the success of Shaboozey's smash single, a bar song, Tipsy. Meedak's resilience and work ethic are explored further on the tracks Daybreak, Mind at Ease, and Closer to You. Daybreak literally has an early morning vibe to it with its hazy mix of guitars, pianos, and drums. Not only does it include some sharp songwriting from Meedak concerning his current goal-oriented lifestyle, but it also features a standout verse from none other than A-Pop Speedy. Stylistically and lyrically, Mind at Ease lives up to its title as well, with its relaxed, almost meditative production and theme of embracing your resilience while staying focused on your dreams. Closer to You is easily the best of the three. From Meedak's impressively sung hook and wavy string and synth-based instrumental to his dedication to secure his place in hip-hop immortality for the betterment of his life and that of his family, this is a superbly crafted song that could have made for a fantastic album closer. Which leads to the actual album closer, They Reminisce over Meedak. Going back to the icon of the afro-headed face on the album cover, this song takes Pete Rock's universally praised instrumental. I honestly don't think there's anyone alive who hates that beat, even if they're marginally familiar with it. For his timeless collaborative track with CL Smooth, They Reminisce Over You, or TROY, Meedak reworks the song's bittersweet dedication to Pete and CL's deceased friend, Trouble T. Roy, into an optimistic anthem celebrating the success he aims to achieve and the process, hard as it will be, towards attaining that success. As both a closing statement on his hip-hop dreams and a final moment of praise to hip-hop music, They Reminisce Over Meedak works. But a part of me feels like we could have had another song on the record where Meedak rapped over a classic beat. Now of course, I know how extremely difficult it would have been for him to secure another beat specifically revered by hip-hop heads. And yet I would argue that in the same way we had 2 songs featuring 2 rap pioneers on the standard edition, this complete edition would have greatly benefited from 2 songs featuring 2 classic instrumentals. Again, agree to disagree. As a whole, I enjoyed and appreciated this record. Complete is the appropriate word in this case, as Raps of Yore now feels more fleshed out and cohesive than its previous incarnation. My biggest takeaway from this version is how it feels like a crucial step being taken by Meedak in his path to greatness. And even though there's more steps he'll need to take to be regarded as one of hip-hop's GOATs, moving forward is what ultimately matters. But for now, if you're looking for some jazzy and soulful hip-hop with an old school sensibility, Raps of Yore the Complete Edition is certainly worth the listen, which is why I'm feeling a 7 out of 10 on this album. And that's my review of Raps of Yore the Complete Edition, which is now available on Spotify. If you checked it out, feel free to let me know what your thoughts were on it in the comment section to this video. And yeah, it's a wrap.